this video, we're going to talk about proportional equations. So given a rate, we're given a rate of 180 miles on 9 gallons of gas. We're going to first find the unit rate. So for 180 over 9, I'm writing it as a fraction first. This is miles in gallons. So let's get down to 1 gallon to find the unit rate. So to do that, we would divide by 9, which would be x equals 20 miles for every 1 gallon. So that would be our unit rate. So our equation is going to be either an m equals or a g equals equation. And you can do it either way. I'm going to do one and then just see if it works. So m equals our unit rate times g, or is it g equals our unit rate times m? It's one of these two. Always, for any proportional equation, it'll look like a variable equals a number times the other variable. So let's see which one makes sense. Are the miles 20 for every gallon, or are the gallons 20 for every mile? Well, if you're still not sure after reading that over, we can use an example. The miles were 180, the gallons were 9. Which of these work? Does 180 work here? Does that work? Or does it make sense over here? 9 equals 20 times 180. Does that work? Well, it's pretty easy to see that one does not work. This one does work. So our first equation was actually correct. The miles is equal to 20 for every gallon. So 20 times the number of gallons. So that's our equation. For the next one, let's do the same thing. Let's find a unit rate. So if I've got money and I've got the number of something, I'm going to divide the money by how many of that thing I have. That will give me the cost for one of those things. In this case, it'll be the cost for one package of blueberries. So dividing this gives us $4.26 per package. So usually when it's a cost equation, we usually start with a C equals. So the cost is $4.26 for every package. N is the number of packages. And again, let's make sure this works. 21.30, does that equal 426 times 5? And that does work. So our equation is correct, because plugging in an example here, you can see that that works. So there's our equation. Let's do one more here. So we've got 221 pages in 17 hours. Let's get down to a unit rate. So let's divide by 17 to get down to 1. So 221 divided by 17 would be 13. So that means 13 pages per 1 hour, because 13 would go where x is, which is 13 over 1 hour. So again, we have two options for our equations. Is it P equals 13H, or is it H equals 13P? Well, are the pages 13 for every hour, or are the hours 13 for every page? Well, it's right here, 13 pages per hour, which is why this one makes sense. The pages are 13 for every hour. This is not going to work, because if we do plug in for our variables here, 221 into P for pages, and 13 times 17 hours, that is equal, whereas 17 would not be equal to 13 times the number of pages. So you can always take a second and double check that. It's pretty easy to see which way it's going to make sense and which way it's not going to work. And that's how